Welcome to the CWFalcons.com Coaches Show. I'm joined here by men's basketball head coach Shawn Cassidy to talk about the season so far. Coach, you're off to a 2-5 start. You're 2-3 in conference play. 7 games in. How do you assess the way things have been going so far?
And we're moving in the right direction. I'm excited about our players, about the energy. I couldn't be happier with how hard they're working and how hard they're trying. Obviously, at 2-5, we're struggling. We're struggling at key points in games where we're right in these games, and then we seem to do some things that aren't characteristic of Concordia basketball. But I couldn't be happier with the attitude and the effort that these guys are giving.
It seems like it's almost a weekly thing when talking to you, and sometimes it's daily, is the amount of injuries you've had on this team so far. With that being said, how do you handle that as a head coach, knowing that your full complement of guys aren't always there for even practice? Sometimes you said I think you said one practice you had 10 guys. So how do you handle that, and what's the adjustment there on a daily basis, who's in or who's out?
Well, fortunately, we have a great training staff, but we're keeping them busy. I think we've got 5 guys that have not played yet that maybe 3 months ago I would have figured into the lineup, at least into our regular rotation. So that makes it a little difficult. That we don't quite know when everyone's coming back. It all depends on when a doctor clears them, when the training staff is able to work with them and get them back into shape. So we're flexible. That's the one nice thing about our staff is we're going to coach whoever shows up. And again, the guys are working extremely hard. The hard part and probably the most frustrating part is just not having a timeline of when we're going to get these guys back. And I know it's frustrating for them. No one wants to sit out. And every once in a while you see them on the side stretching or doing some cardio work and say, boy, it'd be nice to have 1 or 2 of those guys back in the lineup. But just because they're great guys, they're great competitors. So again, you got to be flexible. That happens to all teams at some point. We were very fortunate last year that we didn't have those injuries. Or even those key injuries over the last couple of years where we may have only missed 1 or 2 guys, not to the extent we're having right now. Mm-hmm. So we're anxious.
If I'm looking at this and there's one word to describe what you've gone through so far, it'd be adversity. How is your team handling this right now with the injuries and the rough 2-5 start?
Guys are handling it great. I think it's harder on the coaching staff right now. We take a lot of blame among ourselves for not getting things done. And because we're so young, they just want to come out and work. I know it may be taking their toll on them, but they don't show it. Every day they come out ready to work, ready to fight. And again, I couldn't be prouder of their efforts. We just need to start doing some things better. But I think adversity is a good word right now. But again, with the schedule that we've had, we've played some great teams. Mm-hmm. And we knew we were going to struggle early, trying to find our rhythm, trying to find our rotation. We just got to keep plugging away.
With adversity being said, I think one of the things that we have to talk about is how young your roster is. You have a couple of seniors, and then everybody is an underclassman. With that being said, how do you go about on a daily basis for practice and games with guys being so young and still learning, trying to get adjusted to each other? Is that something that you have to take into account with certain plays that you call or just the way you run practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We stop practice a lot to teach, probably more than what we did last year with the individual play-by-play. Fortunately, we got a great group of guys that want to learn. They want to be coached. They want to go through film. They want to see things that they're doing wrong, things that they're doing right. Everyone wants to win. We only have 2 guys on the team right now that have been in the program more than a year. So it's a little different going from the last couple of years of having 6, 7 seniors every year who understood what it took, to this group really not knowing what's going to happen when they step on the floor. And out of those key guys, a couple of them didn't play varsity last year. Mm-hmm. They were JV players, and only one had seen major minutes last year. And when I say major, I mean I think Keith was about 12 minutes a game last year. So, and he's our leader coming back. So it changes things. It changes how we approach things. It changes how we try to simplify some things. We've realized we've got some flaws in our defense, and some of it is schemes that we're not quite grasping the schemes that we're used to. So maybe we have to change some things. Maybe we have to go to some alternate defenses to try to get more guys involved. But every day is an absolute dogfight for playing time. So our guys are competing knowing that, hey, if you show yourself in practice, you're going to play in the game.
With being so young, and you said guys are competing on a daily basis in games, I can see that too. They don't stop playing as hard as they possibly can. Keith Caulfield, Bradley Prinzen, Brett Betcher, you're starting a freshman point guard, Eric Kittle, Stephen Brody's was on the bench, now he's in the starting lineup. You have a multitude of guys who can score. That's a tempo you like playing. When you get in the games and Caulfield's dropped 30, Betcher's gotten his 20-something, do you just keep feeding him the ball, or do you try to keep running the system to get a balanced scoring attack?
Well, ideally, we'd love to have a balanced scoring attack. But the other night, Keith was hitting everything. So you have to get the ball back in Keith's hands. For Brett, for his 28-point night, we really couldn't tell as it was going on because Brett finds a way to score inside, outside, rebounding. So we really don't need to even create opportunities for Brett. He finds his own way. And then Brad the other day had about 26 points. Most of those break and things that he was creating for himself. So again, we're not intentional about, hey, we've got to get this guy the ball, we've got to do this. We want to be a complete team. And then Eric Kittle at the point guard spot is that scoring point guard that we haven't had in a long, long time. So he finds a way of scoring every way possible. So I wouldn't say it's intentional that we try to get someone the ball, but our guys, again, are smart enough basketball players. They read the situation. They know when they're getting double teamed. They know when someone's trying to stop them, and they're willing to find the extra man.
Finally, you look at the next stretch here, 3 games in the next 19 days, Christmas breaks included in there. Are you glad this stretch is coming to give your guys some time to settle down a little bit, to recoup on some of these injuries we've talked about? This stretch of just kind of, you still have to go hard. You have 3 games, but to settle down a little bit and take some time to, I guess, breathe and relax a little bit.
Yeah, the 4 games in 8 days took its toll on us. We played our starters more than I think I've ever played our starters over a 4-game span. So we need some time off. We also needed to get back into practice. With 3 games in a 5-day span, you don't have a whole lot of time for practice. You have to focus on a little bit of what you're doing and a little bit on what the opponent is doing and get ready for that next game. And now it's nice that we've had a couple days, although it's finals week. Our guys are mentally and physically exhausted. You could tell that in practice, that they are tired. They're still going hard, but as soon as practice is over, you can see it on their face that they're tired. So it'll be good to be on the road, get away for a while, come back, have one more conference game, and then take some time off for Christmas, go home, spend time with their families. Then we come back and we host the WBY shootout, and then we head up to Finlandia for another game. So that's going to be a great stretch for us. I think more mentally for them. Again, being so young, they haven't been through this before.
Nope.
It takes its toll, and this is the first time most of these guys are going through finals. So as a coach, we never quite know how each player is taking finals and how much is wearing on them. What are their sleep patterns? All those things that go into being a student athlete that after this point we can start focusing on basketball and really focus on basketball and hopefully we can come out better after this break than when we went into the break. As far as the injuries, I'm hoping to get more guys back after Christmas. We kind of had that in mind that we were going to be a different team after Christmas than we were before Christmas. And I think we're going to be a better team, but we're also going to be better because of some of the guys that may be coming back. And again, I say may. Just found out we had another injury yesterday that may keep somebody else out of the lineup. But I'm excited, and excited to see some of these guys on the floor for the first time.
Off basketball topic, Christmas is coming. What are you hoping for? Wishing for? Better question is, are you on Santa's good side?
I don't know after this last week if I'm on Santa's good side or not. I'm really looking forward to getting a week off with family. I haven't spent that much time with my family. We've tried to steal a couple afternoons here or there, but just to be able to spend time and see my kids open up Christmas gifts, it's a lot of fun. And we're going to be in St. Louis for a few days, spending with my parents and my nephews. So that's a great way to spend Christmas. What I get is what I get. It's not a big deal. It really is. And so it's more about watching the kids open up their gifts and remembering when I was their age and getting a chance to have Christmas.
Exactly. As a father, it's not what you get, it's what you give to the kids, right?
And how they respond.
All right, well, thanks, Coach. Stay tuned to CWFalcons.com for updates on the men's basketball program as the season progresses.